All right. Hello, everybody. I got a few things to say. Today, we are going to be missing um, Zavolt, or Zevolt, I think his character's name is, for a few weeks.
Solve it.
Zolvet, that's what it is. Yeah, I had it backwards. Anyways, um, yeah, he's going to be out for a few weeks due to work schedules. But we're going to keep going forward. Some of our players' mics and or setups are slightly different today due to circumstances. So if the audio sounds a little bit different, that's why. But what happened last time, going into the recap, is the party succeeded in the tournament. They won by the hair on their little chins, but by the skin of their pants. Yeah.
Skin of our pants, Pat?
Hey, you've never had skin pants before?
They're a little brown after.
I mean,
Pretty sure the other team's pants were brown afterwards too.
especially that one that got blasted with the fire breath of a dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think his were too charcoal for that.
that's true. He did have pants after that. Yeah, the party went to the resting room, the victorious resting room that they were supposed to wait for the king to have a meeting with them, where they spent about 9.5 hours, I believe it was, resting and sleeping and drinking and eating, until a mysterious crimson cloaked masked gentleman walked in and introduced himself as their handlers. I will give a DM token. Oh, wait, never mind. I guess the DM token goes to Mithril.
Sorry.
Tariel?
Yeah. Talariel, yes, also goes by Tal. But he gave them all their awards and told them that soon the king would be arriving and to finish up their resting, because after that they probably won't get a good rest like this unless they're rather successful in their missions. We are going to pick up just before the king arrives. So it's been about 30 minutes of you guys all just sitting in here after receiving all of your magic, your rewards, your money, and your magic items. So, please begin.
Sapios is on the couch trying to relax and watch everybody else who's just tired.
Kane is leaning against the bookshelf, kind of tapping his foot, like, why is this motherfucker always late?
Sif is laying on the floor. I guess. Oh, he's chilling next to the dog. I don't know if that's on here. The one that's on the map.
And Trevor has kind of just plopped down on the floor. He's just kind of sitting cross-legged and he's sharpening his new sword.
I did put the belt on. My beard got fuller.
God, I love that belt of the dwarven kind.
Look, the +2 to con is great. I'll take a fuller beard for that.
I think your character would look good with a more fuller beard. The stubble is okay. Yeah. There is a knock at the door, and that crimson. I can speak, people. The crimson
Can you?
cloaked person known as Talariel or Tal walks in. I hope all of you are ready. The king is here.
How deep time?
Okay. Guess we should get up, stand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna sheath my sword. I'm gonna kind of dust myself off and make sure that I look semi-presentable. Because
I'm immediately going into standing at attention, just backward.
yeah, once I see Kane kind of straighten up, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, right, we're about to meet the king, and I'm gonna follow suit.
You say that?
Yeah, more or less.
Sif will just get up nonchalantly. There's a little leftover dog fur. It's like, put his hand in his pocket. It's not very formal.
What about Gorez? What is Gorez doing? I think it's
Or is simply chilling on the couch,
Nope, not even
watching
standing
what
up.
everybody's doing and saying, and just still trying to feel everybody out. Just see what he can figure out about everybody without really trying to communicate.
Okay. As as Tal steps to the side, a half-elf gentleman. I believe I gave a picture in one of my other games. One moment,
You did
everybody.
give a picture in Friday.
Yeah,
And
Friday.
considering Friday's handler knows this game's handler, does that mean they're happening at the same time?
No, it's different universes, same situation. It's like how you can exist in multiple universes, but in some universes you don't exist, or you're different.
In Monday's game, only one version of Nishihara exists anymore.
That is true. As a white-haired, older gentleman, a half-elf, for those who don't know what a half-elf is, it is a being that is split, that is a child of a human or other race and an elf. Generally, they don't live as long, but some of them happen to inherit the long life of their elven parent. Hello everybody. It is wonderful to see all of you. I know some of you, well, one of you, and meeting the rest of you for the first time. I am your king.
I'm immediately going to snap into a salute. I'm not going to say anything, not going to do anything. I just, bring my fist up over my chest, bow my head, and just, for the first time, I'm not being a smartass, and I'm staying quiet.
Fina also bows to the king. She doesn't say anything.
Please, relax, everybody. I don't look at adventurers as, well, especially adventurers that have proven themselves to be powerful, brave, and cunning, as lower. Please, raise your heads. Don't be standing and salute. You'll eventually pass out.
Oh, thank the gods. Thank
Only
you.
if your knees locked.
That one looked like he had his knees locked, for sure. Yeah, be like that one on the couch there. Just, not a care in the world, despite his ruler is in here. Anyways, here, let me go take a seat at my desk as he walks past all of you. It looks like Tal is watching every single one of your movements. For just the one moment that if any of you decide to do anything.
Kane is also doing that.
He pulls the chair out and sits. Oh, that feels good. I've been doing a lot today. A lot of people, a lot of talking. Anyways, yes, let's
You're
please.
used to that. You never shut up.
That is true. Please come close.
Kane will approach the desk.
Yeah, I'll step right to the edge of the desk right here. Yes.
On the step? Okay, I guess I'll just move over. Here.
Let me get the map up.
All right.
I was more concerned about food than I was getting the map up.
Well, let's get underway with what your quest is. Your quest is to head over to the land known as Valordis. That is what we've discovered it's called. Though it doesn't work the same way our continent does. It doesn't work under one kingdom. It works as if Astana didn't exist and our beautiful Alor were divided into different factions and countries. But
So, basically, before the Grand Hunt.
No, if I mean before the Grand
Sort of.
Hunt, the one king, my great grandfather, he ruled everything. It was before he ruled everything. So much before. Um, but yes, so you are tasked with going over to Valordis and helping as many people as you can. Become heroes and help connect Valordis and Alor. Because the last time we attempted to do this in the non-infiltrate tactic like way, all of our ships filled with very many people were destroyed before even reaching their shores. So this is our last step before having to declare war on a land that we know nothing of.
Why do we have to declare? Why would you have to declare war on it?
Act of violence. They
Okay.
attacked several ambassadorships. In the land of politics and diplomacy, this is an act of utter violence. This is where
Big no.
they they have pretty much issued a we are hostile no matter what, and we plan to do what we need to do, and we don't want any kind of talks. And generally, if somebody's willing to kill ambassadors, well, they say don't shoot the messenger. Um, that is an act of war in itself. We are
These
trying to take a step back from the situation and still try a diplomatic way, just slightly different.
These ships that went missing,
Oh,
Do we
not
know
missing,
for sure?
destroyed.
that were destroyed.
Yes.
Are we for sure that it was Valordis itself that destroyed it?
That is
It
why
couldn't
we
just
are
be a-
taking a step back.
Because we
Yeah, I was gonna
don't.
say. Ooh, as far as we know, could have been roving pirates,
Yes, that's right.
sea snake.
Oh, it was definitely what we had gotten from our communications on the ship. Large balls of flame plummeted down and destroyed them from the landmass. So that's exactly kind of why under diplomatic ways, as the king, I have to see that as a possible act of violence from the country and or continent, seeing how it happened to every ship that tried to dock at a different country. So they weren't just grouped up.
Should be easy enough. I mean, go there, talk to them, say, hey, we want to be friends.
The
Should be in and
problem
out pretty quick.
is if they are hostile to ambassadors, they will most likely attack you. And we would rather you, well, help us tell a small little white lie to prevent a war. We'd like
Basically, don't tell anyone where we're from.
yes. Pretend as if you are from there and just convince, after becoming known and respected, convince as many of the countries as you can to give Ellor, or give this new land, a chance, a connection. At least allow some of our diplomats to dock and have a conversation, even if they wish nothing for a ties, alliance, treaty, nothing. At least let us have a moment of discussion so we could figure out if they were the ones who blew up and killed all of our ambassadors. That's generally what we wish you to do, but in the simplistic terms, just become heroes. Do what adventurers do best. Save people. Prevent world destruction and all that. I know you
Kind of
are all pretty
Pardon,
simple.
question. Do
Yes,
we
sir.
do we even speak the same language as these people?
We had, in order to prepare for your arrival, we had snuck a small infiltration group of roguelike of our arcane tricksters, and they were able to set up teleportation, and their goals were to, well, like I said, set up the teleportation circle so that we could deliver you onto the landmass. and also to gain as much information in the areas that they are given to do so. Note that these are mostly sea connected land countries. But overall, yes, it seems as if we do speak the same languages. Common is still common, and Draconic is still Draconic.
So these assets that you sent over there, did they learn anything about these different, as you said, there are multiple countries, these different countries, and what their names are, where they're located? Do we have any information about the continent itself?
Well, we only know so very little. You're going to have to go into this mostly blind. That's why I recommend procuring a map as soon as you can.
I do have a question, sir. How are we going to pretend to be from somewhere we have no information of?
That's why I recommend you do your best to steer a conversation away from where you are from. And if you can, just simply state you are from the far east or far west, depending on where you go.
And if they don't want to make peace, what's our objective then?
Well, if I'm assuming you mean they don't want to make pieces and they are for sure hostile and show that they are hostile. Or that they just choose not to have any ties with us.
Mainly if they're hostile.
Well,
Because if they don't choose to have ties with us, then just leave them the fuck alone.
indeed, if they choose not to have ties with us, there are other countries. In time, people do warm up to each other. Neighbors become friends in time, and but we would like to at least have some kind of connection with this land, because if we had a connection in at least one of the countries, we could make sure that in all the other countries, at least we would know if they're going to prompt a war on us.
Well, I got a question.
Indeed.
What about an underground connection?
We try to refrain from any kind of criminal activity, please. Unless it is absolutely necessary to do your job.
Well, I'm just thinking, if the local government and legal connections can't be made due to hostilities, an underground connection could at least be made, and then the legal connection can then be kind of coerced, if you will, into happening.
Indeed. You are the group that have been chosen to go about in this quest. How you accomplish it is how you accomplish it, as long as we are not made out to be enemies, vicious attackers, invaders. I would say do as you need.
If any connection.
Indeed. We lost somebody.
We lost Rapid.
We lost the Rapid. We lost the Seth. Oh no. We're going to continue on, though. He is a veteran of this Grand Quest game, so he knows what's going on. So, indeed. Oh yes, sorry. Information. Please do not tell them where you're from. Do not let them know what your goals are. Well, you could let them know that you plan to be heroes. That is fine. Just don't let them know that you're trying to aid in the connection of two continents.
But is there a time that we are supposed to let them know? Because if we are going to try to build an alliance between the kingdom there and here, I would assume at some point we would have to inform them.
I would assume after we've made a decent enough reputation that it wouldn't automatically get us killed.
Indeed. That would probably be the safest and smartest way, and or time. Note that not always do we expect you to keep this secret. Some secrets are meant to be told in certain points of time, in order to better assist and or accomplish your goal. Um, Talking to a king or a queen after saving the kingdom from utter demolishing or devastation would probably be a very good opportune time to do that. Um, Other than that, please refrain from just telling anybody and everybody where you are from, because we do have to keep you at some level of standard, and your handler will ensure that. If it is one that he deems is an unnecessary level of telling, he will exact a punishment upon you.
And Trevor just kind of reaches up and rubs the back of his neck. He goes, "Gods, I'm going to end up being an Oathbreaker my first week there."
I mean, not unless you die
Kane
first.
kind of looks at him like, what?
So basically, what we have to do is get ourselves into the room with the people having the conversation about making connections and talking to other countries, and then somehow manage to mention this country on a whim, if you will.
Well, I mean,
More of a. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
Well, from what I got from this, it's more of a make a connection with someone high up that we can trust.
It's
The higher, the
easier.
better.
No.
Well, yeah, but if we can just get into the room with the people, we have to. By that time, you've already got a reputation, because
mean,
they're
how
not just
hard
going
is
to let anybody in that room to have that discussion with.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
I turn to the king. I mean, how hard is it to get into a room with the king?
Yes, but what good is getting into
You
a room
do
with the king if
realize
the king
we
doesn't
went
respect you?
through a 3-stage tournament where we all almost died twice. More than
Also,
I-
twice.
Actually, die just as a point of order.
it's not always getting in to see the king that's the hard thing. It's sometimes getting out with your life. That's the hard thing.
And also getting said king to listen to you. He gives a pointed look at the king.
King kind of like turns his head. That is a wonderful book over there. Have any of you read that before? Anyways.
Oh, I don't think I've read that.
Oh, yes, it's a great book. You should definitely read it. Would you like to take it with you on your journeys?
Honestly, I have only one book. I would love to.
Awesome. Okay.
What's the name
Sounds
of the book?
great. He casts Mage Hand and pulls it off the shelf, and it goes over and it gives it to you. The book is The Aspirations of the Weave. Does it have a feeling? Can it love? It seems to be a romance novel about magic.
Weave, can it love? I start reading the back of it if it has anything written, and I'm gonna. Oh, and I tuck it under my shirt.
So, yes, let's see here. We've talked about the quest, and we've talked about the requirements. Oh, yes, the little your little monitor. Tal, can you please bring it over here? He brings over a small orb that the king places his hand on, and it initiates turning into a pile of ooze that then flibbers and flobbers into life as two little black beads appear as eyes. This will be your monitor. It will send images, sound, and will allow you to communicate with your handler when it's necessary. Also, note that this is pretty much how we're going to keep tabs on you, so that you don't, go rogue and take over the entirety of that new land.
I kneel down and I kind of poke the ooze and I go, "I shall call you Squishy, and you shall be mine, and you shall be my Squishy."
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to name it already, it can take any shape and form you would like. Right now it's inert. It hasn't been contracted yet. It has a name, Squishy.
In that case,
Are we actually gonna name it Squishy?
I'm not completely sold on Squishy. I just thought that this was its shape, and I thought that it was important.
Oh.
It was appropriate.
No,
I mean, name the little thing whatever.
the
I really don't care.
naming and choosing its form process will give it a form of sentience. A couple teams earlier chose a purple beholder, a tiny purple beholder. Note it doesn't get any of its powers, but it just looks cute. And I think another team chose a tiny T-Rex.
Can we just make it a dog?
If you would
I like dogs.
A puppy.
I mean, if you
I
would
have no
like to
problem
make
with
it a
dogs.
dog, that is fine.
You are a dog, Sif.
You sound just like my ex. I think.
I don't know that
So-
that's a compliment or not.
Me neither.
I would say probably if his ex was calling him a dog, there's probably conflict there. I know I certainly don't look back on any of my exes fondly. And he just kind of clears his throat.
There's a story there, and I want to know, but it can wait.
Indeed. I do have one last team to get to before my night is over.
So, did we settle on a dog? Is that what you guys decided?
I'm sure we could probably figure that out here in just a few moments. What else did you require of us, Your Grace?
Oh, to finish this. I have to be here for
And-
this.
to name it
So
and
Yeah.
give it a
dog
form.
named Squishy.
Oh, in that
Let's
case,
not go with Squishy.
yes, we don't need to call him Squishy. We could just call him Dog.
So original.
Dog meat.
That's right.
I am a man of many talents. Creativity, pardon me, is not one of
What
them.
color is the ooze?
Right now, it's just a green ooze.
Oh, we have to finish it. Like I said, I really don't care what you name them.
Could name it Spot.
Spot is a wonderful name for a dog. Yes, we'll call him Spot.
Very well. As the ooze starts to wiggle and wobble, and then a little back half of a dog appears, and then a front half, and then the head goes into existence as little tiny wings kind of appear on it as well. Well, it needs to fly, so I guess it gave itself wings. So now it is a dog with wings and little brown spots, it looks like.
Well, shit, we should have just turned it into a trussum.
I hate those things. They're so stuck up.
Ugh, cats.
I like cats.
Yeah, well, they're an extra
color
kind
is
of
it?
breed of
Cats,
asshole.
I feel like a dog, even
So
though
am
it
I.
has stick out a little bit less.
Oh, they are tiny. I mean, that's like the size of a paperweight. Like, it is really small.
DM, did he change color yet?
Yeah, he's white with brown spots.
Oh, just
Oh,
like Spot would look. Okay.
As the dog barks up at you. Ruff! Hi, everybody!
Yeah, it talks.
Indeed, I do talk.
Okay.
I am Spot.
I'm gonna pick him
It's
up and set him on my shoulder.
very
The
Yeah, I just-
opposite shoulder that Archimedes is on.
I just start like scritching him like around the ears, and I'm just completely fixated on this dog.
Do you got
Yes.
That feels very good. I enjoy this. Don't stop.
I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna
it-
hand the dog to Trevor and be like, "Here, you kid. I've already got a bird."
And
Anything fun?
he's just like he just immediately sits on the floor and starts playing with this dog.
like he was a pet?
The king stands up. Well, I think I have said everything I need to say. Please do not fail this. We really are relying on all of you.
Your Majesty, if I may ask one question, you mentioned punishment if we do something wrong. Oh, may
Indeed.
I ask what kind of punishment could
That
we
is
expect?
up to your handler.
Looks over at all. Fantastic.
Judging from the look of our handle, I can assure you it's probably something remarkably unpleasant.
Most punishments are.
Playing the dog as he says this.
Well,
Unless you're into that.
if you have any other
He
questions,
said
your
it.
handler will fill you in on the rest. Ask as many questions you like, but don't expect all of them to have answers and or be answered. Have wonderful days.
Sir, one more question.
I'm very tired. What is it, Kane?
Food supply.
You were given money, I believe.
Not that food.
What, you could not buy a chicken?
Ew.
Well, welcome to the life of an adventurer, Kane. Survive.
I'm regretting this already.
Don't worry, Kane. He'll be okay. We'll forget his
And
name.
Trevor just kind of looks up because he remembers like casting Divine Sense and seeing something weird from Kane. He just kind of cocks his head to the side, and then he just kind of shakes his head and goes back to playing with the dog.
You didn't catch something weird. You caught undead from him.
He's still not entirely convinced that that was accurate.
You hear a click of the door as the king leaves. He just snuck out while you guys were having a conversation.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
The towel stands in the
I really
center
shouldn't
of the
talk
room.
about his mother like that. According to what I've heard, she was a great lady.
Indeed, she was. During the Grand Hunt, she was one of the only humans who... Well, not one of the only, but one of the better humans who did not fear and or kill non-humans on sight. She, in fact, had
Weird
great...
question. Are all of the handlers, like, are you guys the adventurers that put him on the throne?
No.
Okay.
Those
Just curious, 'cause-
have all either passed on or moved to different places in the world. Well,
Mhm.
we are something entirely different.
What are y'all?
Those are one of the
Not
questions that
entirely.
will not have an answer.
Trevor just kind of shakes his head. He's like, I'm not entirely sure we actually want to know the answer to that question.
Most likely not.
Morbid curiosity.
Anyways, trust me, it is not something as grandiose as you are imagining.
As what?
As grandiose? Great?
Okay.
Amazing?
Finished. I thought you finished. I thought it was unfinished. I'm sorry.
No, it is fine. Simplistically, I am what you would just call a strong person who desires to aid the world in its progression forward.
I think person would be a bit strong of a word.
I am sorry, but are you identifying my race as something else than human?
I'm not sure what to identify it as.
We just stick with human.
That's why I asked.
Trevor's gonna stand up and he's like, I do have a question.
Indeed.
Even though I have not technically performed my oath yet, one of the tenets is honesty. Is there going to be, are you going to make some kind of arrangement with my order so that I am permitted to lie, or should I just anticipate on
You could just
breaking my oath?
not
You could just
lie
not
and let
lie.
the rest of us do the talking for you.
That does work too, but
I mean, there's a lot of ways to tell the truth without telling the truth.
And if I am not correct, you're a member of the Order of the Avenging Hand, right?
that allegedly is correct. I haven't seen or heard word from my Knight Commander since he sent me here. I'm honestly pretty certain he intended for me to just get killed here, but
Well,
it's what it is.
if I am correct in the understanding of how an oath is taken, you are to make an oath, follow it for a certain amount of time until a being of power determines you as worthy. To gain power from the oath you take, the trust is what builds this power. So if you find yourself talking to a being or yelling to the skies a promise and suddenly you are granted with better powers and growing power, then you've taken your oath. Just be sure that what you say and what you agree upon is something you can accomplish. Not always does an oath follow exact tenets. I have met several oath of vengeances that do not tell the truth.
And Trevor just kind of shrugs and nods, and he goes, "You know what? Fuck it, that's good enough for me." And he goes back to playing the spot.
I am sure it's more than you've been told by your order. You are the black sheep, the one they never wanted to join, so that does make sense.
You are not wrong there, good sir.
Indeed, I am not. I know very, very much about all of you. So, I hope this will be a very comfortable and wonderful experience for us all. Please, before we move on and I send you away to a new land, there are a few things I do need to tell you. The country you are going to is called Denza. It is a small country that has weakened over the years, supposedly. They seem to have an issue with well, I don't know if it's an issue. They burn their dead because they fear if they bury their dead, they'll get back up. This has not been confirmed because our operatives that we sent over there went dark about a week ago.
So, I suppose we're assuming they're dead?
That is the most reliable
Logical
assumption. Yes.
So we're heading to a country that burns their dead.
In fear of them
But
raising...
we can't confirm whether or not they've got an undead. Great, I'm fucked.
Yes. Also, this new land, Valordis it's called, they seem to all worship elementals instead of spirits. So, keep that in mind. They may not have the same gods that you do. Because, one, they are elementals, and they're not spirits, so make sure that you don't say something that isn't, I guess, cultural.
Offensive to drops of water?
Well, I mean, if you go into
something like that.
Yeah, if you go into a temple that seems to be to an earth elemental, like a giant tree or something, and you set it on fire, I'm pretty sure you're going to be hated. So please don't do things like that.
I think setting any building on fire is going to make us hated. Let's not become
you can't.
Pyromaniacs.
You can't save a few kingdoms without burning a few houses, so...
Why do I feel like you're speaking from experience?
The mask just kind of looks over at you. Anyways.
There's no point in even inciting him. You're probably not going to get anything.
It's very difficult. The mask is very much blocking that. Go for it.
Do it just to see if I get a natural 20.
I mean, best case scenario doesn't mean you're going to succeed.
14.
I mean, it's like that mask is like looking at a wall, trying to understand if the wall has hatred.
I've got a nat 20 on insight.
The best. So a natural 20 does not always mean automatic success. It means best case scenario. The thing that you get from him when this is said is that he is that in his words is what you are reading. He's telling you that it's okay to be destructive sometimes. That's what you get from the natural 20. Anyways, I believe that is everything. We are dropping you near the coast. I believe there's a small town around there. It is also near what I believe is a fort and a set of ruins of an old city that had been destroyed during a conflict with another country.
Well, if they've got an undead problem, that city might be the best place to see if it's true.
Maybe, indeed.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, then.
Yes, into the undead eldritch fire.
That's not.
No one said anything about Eldritch. Okay.
We have to work on your people skills, mate.
I believe my people skills are
The
wonderful.
lack thereof?
All of you understand the difficulty of this mission, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that my
believe-
people skills are wonderful then. Anyways, is that the last of your questions? Because if so, we need to move on.
I guess
I don't
I'm
have
good.
any more questions.
Looks at
I
Syphina.
still want to know what you are.
That is something that will go unknown. Looks at Syphina. You seem to be a very curious one. I believe you might be holding back some questions, and those might not give you answers now, but at least they will help you to understand what you can and cannot know.
Syphina just looks at him. She takes a deep breath. She's like, I understand why we are supposed to not tell people where we're from. And I understand the need to, not just inform everyone we encounter. But it troubles me that we are supposed to have a lie that we tell, or half truths, people that we hope to gain their trust. Because you want to basically create an alliance on a foundation of lies, and I don't understand how anyone would trust us if we.
I think you are taking this lie too seriously. The only lie you are telling them is that where you are from. You are not simply telling them that, oh, this land is going to save you, cure all of your ailments, blah, blah, blah. You're telling them that you're just simply not from there, but to give it a chance. And also, technically, that's not even what you're doing. You're telling those who do not need to know that you are from Valornis. Those that do need to know, say a king, a queen, a ruler of some kind, or high up rankings official, those are ones that are permitted for you to tell if you have gained enough reputation for them to trust you. Also, I'll have you look at this. A mother tells a child there is a monster outside in order to prevent them from going out in the dark and getting hurt, lost, or killed. This child grows up and eventually learns there are no monster outside, but they do not hold it against the parent because they knew why it was done. White lies sometimes help more than they hurt.
I do have another question, and spirits forbid that this actually happened, but should one of us die and someone from this new land want to join us, are we allowed to tell them?
Only if they prove to be trustworthy. Make sure they are not a snake in the grass. Make sure that they are not poison in the well. And when they prove that they are not, and that they are trustworthy, feel free. I will not punish you.
Okay, so basically we can tell anyone who proves to be trustworthy if they're going to be traveling with us, or they're high enough up within the government that they're actually going to be a deciding factor in the possible alliance.
Indeed. Please just don't go telling Blacksmith Bob down the street that you're from a new land to try to get some discounts or something. Or the random merchant you guide from one town to the next. Those are people who
To be
do not
honest,
need
they'd
to know.
probably charge us more if we told them we were from a different land. Merchants are assholes.
Generally,
I got a question.
Yes.
What check would I have to do so I can try to see what he is? Would that be an investigation or?
Oh, you're gonna need to do a lot of things. Like, a lot. I mean, you could run through the courses of Detect Good and Evil. You can run through the course of, I mean, honestly, you're gonna need to be a pretty high level. Either tackle him to the ground and try to pull his mask off and find out that way. I mean, that might not even give you anything. Or be a high enough spellcaster to be able to find out that way. Or do a lot of investigating. Which, you leaving Alor might not assist you in that.
Yeah, that might not.
But, he looks at Sifina. Do you understand now? It is not a simple lie into another lie, into another lie, into another lie. You are not building no foundations on lies. You are allowing you to travel freely without the expectation of you being evil, without the expectation of others wanting to take knowledge from you or possibly use you against Alor. If this land is hostile, it'll allow you to move smoothly. But no foundation is being built on a lie. For those who are the ones that make choices will know the truth.
And eventually,
Eventually,
the rest of everyone else will as well.
Yes, eventually the lie will no longer need to be in existence, and those around will be free to know.
And to be honest, if we keep it to we're not from this country, it's not a lie. It's a half-truth, because we're not telling them exactly where we're from, but as long as they don't ask, it's not a lie.
There's a lot of ways to tell the truth without telling the truth.
Well, that's the fear. I would just say I'm not from around here.
I still have a lot of uncertainties, but this is the way that it is to be, so it is the way it will be.
Note that you are, in doing what you are doing, you are preventing millions from dying in a war that possibly was not even caused by this Valordis. It could have been caused by, like Sif had said, pirates. Though pirates with this ability to cast Meteor Swarm is very dangerous, and you should attempt to wipe them out at all costs. But
I find it rather odd that everywhere our ships tried to dock, they were hit with that particular spell.
Indeed, it is weird.
If this land is not like ours, where we have one king and multiple nobles who oversee the lands for the king, they're not going to have the same defenses in every single country.
There'll be
so
many
it's
forms of defense.
very, very strange that it was the same thing that hit every ship.
Yes, this is very true, and this is why the king has decided, instead of acting as a normal king would and enact war over death of ambassadors, he took a moment and he understood the situation, and this is his option. So it relies on all of you who have completed the Grand Tournament and have taken the Grand Quest to succeed in this, to prevent the only option left. So, even if you have some quarrels against how it is done, you are not going there to conquer a land. You are going there to save whoever and whatever needs saving. So if anything, you should be happy and honored to be the ones selected to go and become heroes for those who might not have them. Now, we must be on our way. The teleportation circles are ready. And you are the last team to leave.
Other teams are there, if I may ask.
13.
See.
You are team 12. 13 has already left. So, should we get going?
Yeah. I don't have any more questions.
If you do end up having more, you can use Spot to contact me. Also, I can monitor all of your actions through Spot, hearing, sight, and general location.
That's good to know.
So if you
I am also going to assume that should any of us die, you guys will not be replacing the member.
No.
That passed.
The teleportation circle is a one-time use. If one of you dies, and you feel as if you need to replenish your team, it will be up to you to select that member. Perhaps fate is on your side and the member will fall into your hands, almost willingly. We all know fate is a living, breathing thing.
Anyone a necromancer?
I've dabbled.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
What, you've
No.
never wanted to raise a family before?
Trevor just resists
I don't...
the overwhelming urge to just like grab his sword.
I just face palm.
I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. But I have dabbled in necromancy.
You've more than dabbled there, sir.
I am not a necromancer at heart. I prefer the actual abjuration magic overall, honestly. That or divination.
By all means, worry about yourself.
Oh, well, I mean, I was, as I'm assuming all of you guys are walking at this time.
Yeah.
But, he says, well, I feel like it is necessary for me to tell you just a little bit about me, since how I know just about everything about all of you.
That's concerning.
So what's underneath that mask there, buddy?
That is an answer you will not get.
So, do you have a family?
No, the other handlers are the closest I have to family.
How long have you been a
handler? You think he tried to raise a family. Now we know why.
I have only been a handler since the Grand Quest was created. Before that, I was a mere hunting or guard dog.
Interesting. Anybody else have any questions? We'll get answers.
I do not have any questions, no.
Do you like your job?
This current one, as a handler,
Yes.
it is so far.
What are the benefits? Do you get
Benefits?
benefits?
No, I do not. I don't get paid. I don't need pay. I don't need money. I don't need items. I don't need food. I don't need water. All of those things I can provide for myself.
Do you wish that you could go to Valordas?
No.
No.
What's your horoscope?
I'm a Pisces.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, exactly.
That makes me wonder.
Aren't there like 3 Pisces currently in the chat?
Yes, there
Yeah.
is. I'm a Pisces. Rapid's a Pisces.
Matthew's a
Me.
Pisces.
4 Pisces.
Oh, there we go.
I am not a Pisces.
Well, you are
What's
now.
your zodiac?
No, I
We're
am
all
not.
Pisces here.
I just happen to marry one.
I love it.
Oh.
We got another one.
And she's now in the server too, so now we have more Pisces. This server's
I know,
almost entirely
that's why I
filled
said
with
we
Pisces.
get another one.
Alright, let's get back to the game.
Anyway, sorry.
It's all
Sorry
good.
for our listeners. ADHD
Because I
brain.
had another question for Big Creepy.
Indeed.
Big creepy.
I guess that can be my nickname from you. All have their understanding processes. Though Big Creepy is a little bit more of a stretch than just Tal, but very well.
I don't think it's that big of a stretch at all, to be honest. But anyway, you refuse. You don't want to go and do
Indeed.
what we're doing. But don't you think it would be a lot more effective for you to go and do this than for us to go and do it?
No. Because I do not spark trust.
He's got you there. I mean,
Yeah, he does.
really-
He definitely has you there. I don't think if I had met this man on a
On a stroll
alleyway.
down the road.
Yeah, no. No.
Yes. People look
You
at
know,
me.
No, I would
ridiculous.
have given him a very wide berth.
People would look at
Yes,
me more
nothing
like the
goes to
cause
make
of all
like
problems.
creep.
Yes.
You normally don't send a rook or bishop to do this. This is more pawn work.
Yes, we're expendable.
Also, I am unable to leave Alor. My duties keep me rather busy, and to be honest, adding this handler thing on is the reason why it is so-so, is because I have to complete it as I complete my other work.
Oh, so you're an evil spirit. Got it.
I am not an evil spirit.
So you didn't want to become a handler, which is assigned to you.
I do as I am told to do. I do not
Yeah.
want, nor do I diswant.
Is one.
A cheap evil
Sometimes you
spirit.
don't have a choice.
Sounds more like he's a magical construct of sorts.
I am not. I am flesh.
Oh. No. I'm pretty sure you can still be flesh and still be created by magic.
I have a soul and I was not created by magic, if that helps you to understand who I am. Or what
Nope.
I am.
Makes it even more confusing.
Well, we are here now, and so these questions of my existence must come to an end. I do.
Technically, they don't. We could just keep quizzing you through Spot.
The problem with that is
Exactly what I was
that
thinking.
your
Can we go
animal...
already?
Oh, thank God, one of you. Yes, you may. As you guys walk into a room with a massive, glowing blue, arcanic symbol etched into the floor as mages are casting a spell simultaneously. Tao says, "Please step onto the platform." And, I do hope all of you have great and wonderful luck out there in the new land.
And Trevor just kind of looks at the teleportation circle, and then he looks over at Sifina. He's like, question for you. What's your god's afterlife like?
Well, I mean, she is a goddess of life and death, and so it is a very pleasant afterlife, a very calming, and
And he just kind of nods and he shrugs and
I'm
he's
just
like,
gonna step onto the teleportation circle.
all right. I sincerely hope that that's the afterlife I go to then. And he walks into the teleportation circle.
Tao will let you know as you say that, oh, all of you go to the same afterlife. Avoid a copy of this one with no light nor color, just wandering until you eventually break down into the very element your soul represents. All of you can have an expectation of an afterlife, but you'll most likely only benefit your gods that you follow and or the patrons you are granted power through in power alone. I do hope all of you guys resist death with all that you have. As the teleportation goes off.